Hey, good day to all. I have something special for you today. I'm going to get into this episode of blockchainspeaks.org. Um, I think we're going to get into more of the trends. We're going to talk about work. We're going to talk about what do you do with that blockchain information. As you know, um, I do not actually work in the field of developing or programming any type of IT. I am a management analyst, actually, but I am a very, very enthusiastic lover of blockchain technology as well as cryptocurrency investing and trading. So I really got involved with blockchain and cryptocurrency some years back. Some people think that I just started, throwing these videos out there and talking about blockchain or cryptocurrency in the last maybe 6 months or so. No, I've actually been involved since about 2015. And and back, and if you've been in this particular space for some time, then you know that back in the 2015, 16, ICOs were the big deal. And there were a lot of up and coming altcoins that really had some really good use cases like the engine coin and they had tokens, I guess, more so at that time. And you had Crypterium was a very popular up and coming, like the crypto bank. They were one of the largest ICOs. They raised about 35 million in like 10 minutes or something like that. It's crazy. And so ICOs were, I think by the end of 2016, just in that like 1 year alone, ICOs have raised like over $5 billion just in crowdfunding, and it was phenomenal. It's kind of like this weird, enigma of sorts of crowdfunding and really raising that kind of capital in startups that nobody really knew if that startup was going to do anything. Um, there's something called Crypto 20 that was kind of like a hedge fund or some type of ETF type setup to where they aggregated certain types of cryptocurrencies and said they get them on the exchanges, and you could kind of take a group of them and invest that way. And there was a lot of great things going on. Lynn was something that was new but popular, created by the ERC20 kind of platform for Ethereum, and that was popular. And another one that was popular back then. Now, Lynn basically now is considered is Aave, but what they did, they were the precursor to the DeFi loans and staking type benefits that we see today. And so when you think about that, right, they were doing something to create lending within the crypto space. This was back in 2015, 2016. And here we are in 2021, and Aave has probably one of the largest and the most popular platforms in DeFi that supports loans and the lending and has the highest yields out there. So they really were ahead of the game when it came to um, this blockchain DeFi kind of evolution that we see today. If you notice in that evolution, there's a lot of things that are so similar to your mainstream or fiat side of the financial world. So if you can find it in the fiat world, you can probably find it in the blockchain or DeFi space nowadays. That is fascinating because that means that what we didn't really know back in 2015, is there a real compatible way that blockchain can transfer over into equivalence, so people will be a little bit more welcoming of blockchain technology. So I think that that has happened. I see that happening every day, and I'm pretty excited. And that's why this is up here right now. The 8 trends for the future of work. I'm Rashid Hill, and I introduce you to Blockchain Speaks. The Blockchain Speaks is a video type of podcast that I talk about interesting topics in the blockchain space every single week. I may not post them up every single week, but I do present them to you as soon as I can because my day is full of so many things. And obviously on this channel, there's a lot of different what I call passive income portals and passive income programs that I talk about. And that's what has kind of emerged out of studying blockchain. And then you start to study this cryptocurrency. And when the cryptocurrency comes along, and obviously you're talking finance, then it just kind of moves over into the trading of cryptocurrency and investing in cryptocurrency. And so now I try to find the best opportunities for people to invest and make money versus lose money within this particular new era of what I call online investment platforms. Um, so there's obviously risk involved, and so I love to start off and let you know that, hey, disclaimer, I'm not a financial advisor, but what I am going to talk a little bit about in a minute. Even though I'm not a financial advisor, I do have some area of expertise in the topic that we're going to discuss today. Like I said, blockchain speaks is something that I came up with as a way to not only learn more about blockchain technology, and now decentralized finance is really taken over. The NFT is something that I have not put my effort into to learn, but obviously I've scratched the surface and try to get a little information about those. I think you can find some information about. I did an episode talking a little bit about Ethereum 2.0, which I think is fascinating. Um, and I know we had some conversation or a little dialogue about um, the not necessarily IPO, but the oh, come on, Rashid, the SPAC version of Coinbase going public. And and there was some discussion about that in this space. When you have a peer-to-peer, organization that has stood on the shoulders of the smartest people in blockchain and created an avenue for the ordinary person to purchase cryptocurrency, trade cryptocurrency in a safe space, even though they charge you fees and just like a bank would, that's fine. Somebody has to be a clearinghouse. They have to make sure everything is running fine. The blockchain is a trustless, database that can do that, or a trustless ledger that can do that. But at the same time, people are a little more comfortable when they know they can ask a question about where's my money. And so Coinbase they took advantage of that. And that's why they charge fees, because they knew people wanted to know, is my money safe? And so Gemini did the same thing. With the Winklevoss twins running Gemini, there's a level of safety, a level of trustworthiness, because you know who's behind it. With the blockchain, you don't know who's behind what. You just know that there's a blockchain. You just know that there's some security there. It's a trustless type of environment. So whatever is digitally written into the code, it tells it what to do, and therefore it executes. There's no emotion involved. And so you kind of feel a little more comfortable. If your comfort level is with machines or with code, then it's okay, right? You're like, I'm good with that. But most people want to have somebody they can reach out and talk to. One time I was talking to an older gentleman, and of course, talking about Bitcoin and cryptocurrency and trading and profiting from this evolution and this technology. And he's like, I really prefer to have things I invest in that I can touch. And since Bitcoin is just numbers on a screen, I can't touch it, then I don't touch it. And that's really the answer. That's like the answer you get, right? No matter if they say it or don't say it, that is the unwritten, unsaid response to maybe not, my generation is not necessarily a younger generation, but he was in an older generation than me. So you're looking at now the Gen X, Gen Y, Gen 2020, which is, part of the Gen Z, and then you get into Gen 2030, and the alpha, so to speak. So Gen Alpha really is the youngest ones that are just now trying to figure it all out. But they're going to be deep in, cryptocurrency as a primary currency, right next to, the dollar or any of our fiat currency we see today. The fiat currency is not going to be replaced. By no stretch of the imagination will it be replaced, but it's going to be paired with, right? We already see the stable coins. We know that stable coins are important because there are, certain entities, agencies, financial institutions, investment vehicles that just would not go with the volatility of Bitcoin or Ethereum or any of the coins unless there was some stability. And therefore, you come with Tether. your DIO, you got, your USDC. These are stable coins, BS, the Binance USD. There's just, so many of them out there. And those are created because people are a little more comfortable with something that they can see an equivalent, what you call fungibility of this equals this. No matter what I do to it, it's going to equal that same value. And some people really get into that, and that's the only way they're going to invest in cryptocurrency. Therefore, there was an opportunity, and somebody filled that opportunity, and that's what we have today. When I first started dabbling in cryptocurrency, like I said, 2014, 15, 16, probably more 2015, when I kind of really started to dig in, there was probably 2,000 coins and tokens, I guess, more coins at the time, 2,000 coins. And there's more tokens out there. Because if you kind of understand the space, you know that coins do certain things and tokens do certain things, right? And sometimes tokens are a precursor to the coins. So that does happen as well. Okay. All right. Hold on a second. Hold on. I think I got some movement here that's not quite warranted or desired. So if you see me kind of not moving or something, I think my signal is suffering. I guess that's another word for buffering. All right, this is what we do in the blockchain space and make up our own words. So we're going to go for it. But yeah, I'm not going to take long. I'm going to hit it up and we're going to do a couple of minutes here. And because I want to talk about something that's really interesting to me, actually. I believe that you'll find this interesting as well, because in this particular space, not necessarily taking it to kind of where we are today, but really, let's go back to the original, right? I mean, DeFi is a little more modern, but when we talk about the original, we're talking, straight up blockchain. Like, what are you doing in the blockchain space, right? That's exciting, right? What's going on in blockchain space? And so I'm going to talk about blockchain in its purest form. Like, what are you doing to better yourself if you want to be in that blockchain space? If you want to be somebody that has some IT background, if you have that experience and you want to know what can I do with that, or should I even get involved in that? Should it become something that I pursue as a way to earn income? Well, there was something that I read, I heard, or something like this. Um, Bitcoiners are pretty much everybody is potentially a Bitcoiner, right? Because even though today you may not be involved in it, but soon throughout this fourth industrial revolution, you will come upon a way to either use it from the cryptocurrency side or the blockchain side. It is going to be part of our lives. So we all Bitcoiners when it comes to that, because Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency on that blockchain. Therefore, obviously, it'll always be kind of known for the precursor to this industry that we're in right now. But I really want to talk about how to build a career in blockchain. And I think everybody would like to maybe get a little more information on that, because there are really ways that you can take advantage of this particular genre and really excel. So if you have some coding background, this is absolutely an avenue that you can take. If you don't have coding background, then you may want to be a consultant or something like for me, I do more consulting. I do more of the marketing. I do more of the kind of promoting of blockchain and why it's a good way for corporations to evolve. Um, and there's what they call Government Blockchain Association as well, that I participate in, which is very exciting. All right. So why should you go for a blockchain career? Well, there's a couple of reasons. One, there's really less competition. There's a lot of people that take courses, but many of them don't have the depth of the background in order to maybe develop or program some type of systems in order to either see if your legacy system will evolve with the blockchain or if it will not even really be compatible. And so if you understand what that legacy system is and then the blockchain, sometimes they work good together, sometimes they don't. So one, less competition if you know how to explain and show that there's value in bringing blockchain into a corporation or some type of agency or office or industry. work on a global revolution. We know that blockchain is taking over. If you know anything, for the last few years, Dubai, a lot of places in UAE, they're trying to create smart cities, right? Basing everything on blockchain, running the government on blockchain, what they call smart cities. Smart cities are based on Internet of Things and connecting everything. V2X is like a vehicle to everything. And so your vehicle basically talks to every part of the city. Therefore, driverless vehicles, greater hire rate. Yes, absolutely. Because of the spread of a blockchain and it being a career, then a lot of people are definitely looking for people that have that skill set. So the hire rate is definitely up. Exclusive job positions. That if you have that skill set and you can say, I'm a blockchain technology expert for developing or for programming, for consulting, then you have exclusive area in that particular space, and people will definitely want to seek you out. You working in an environment, more of an enterprise environment, so you don't have to be consolidated at one location. You're probably going to take over pretty much the whole company, even if it's in distant locations. So you may be at a headquarters, but you're running an operation that's cross countries, more so than just one location. And you could definitely secure your future, which is number six here, or number six, as far as advantages of why you would want to take blockchain on as a career, securing your future. The blockchain it's not going anywhere. There are a variety of different types of blockchains. Bitcoin is the first one. Bitcoin. Yeah, some people argue that, but we could say it's the first one that became very popular. You have Ethereum's blockchain, which is different from, you know, um, Bitcoins, and then you have Ripple or XRP, which has their own, and you have IOTA, which has their own, called the Tangle. You have the Onion. You have Hashgraph, which is a different type of blockchain. So there's a variety. Helium has its own blockchain as well. So you definitely have an opportunity there that if you can understand some of those particular protocols, then you have secured your future by far. And with all of that, I think the seventh advantage of blockchain as a career and why you should consider it is better pay. Who doesn't want better pay, right? If you're the type of person that you want to work for somebody, or you want to be a consultant and do it by yourself, that's great. I would prefer the consultant side, because then you have the latitude, you have your own hours, and you can go where you want to, when you want to, and pretty much charge what you want to. So definitely better pay is a key aspect of, definitely, why you should look at blockchain as the best career move, right? Um, so what are some other great reasons why this is a good? I think one is the trends, right? Like we looked at earlier, there are trends that's happening, and one is globalization is coming back at a fast pace. Even if you're in a country or whatever, yes, they're going to create things that are compatible with their culture, but when it comes to blockchain and technology, then you want to make sure that what's happening in the US is happening in China. It was, I know that's probably a bad example, right? But Japan, something like that. And I'm saying that because the systems that you use, you want them to be compatible with systems that you use here and there. And you don't want to have different systems, right? And that eases kind of the connectivity. And so blockchain really gives you an opportunity to create those networks where you don't have to have so many different avenues to the same thing. So how do you build a blockchain career path? I'm going to give you a couple of things. I'm not going to give you everything, but I want to give you a few things that come to mind, and that I've done, like I said, a little research just to make sure there's some value in this Blockchain Speaks episode. So how to build a blockchain career path. One, you got to gain knowledge of decentralized and distributed ledgers. That is the first thing, is get you a course and understand what the differences are and what the different types of decentralized and distributed ledgers are. The second thing is you want to learn to simplify things, right? Um, Distributed ledgers are not complicated. When you understand that you have, a certain amount of nodes or computers that's separated throughout the world, and run by people versus corporations, then that's a simple thing. It's not trying to make it complicated. how do you create the hash, and what does each hash mean, what's announced, and that makes it complicated. So you want to make sure it's simple. Learn about the fundamentals and the basics of blockchain technology. Take a course, learn the basics, right, before you start to try to go out and tell people about blockchain. Learn about enterprise business processes. This is fascinating because if you're going to go into, let's say, for instance, supply chain management, right? So if you already have a background in supply chain or transportation, then you know that there's a great use case right there for blockchain technology. So you want to make sure you understand those particular enterprise business processes within supply chain or within transportation or health or medical, financial. And when you start to understand those, then you see where blockchain can improve those processes. You want to join a blockchain community. That is critical. If you don't do that, then you're going to be lost, because the evolution of knowledge is incredible. Um, you want to learn to communicate value. So if you're talking to somebody, a corporation or a business owner, and you see that there's some type of use case that you've known about, but it could be applied to that person's business, you need to be able to communicate value. Why is it valuable to them? So blockchain is not just technical. It's not just IT type talk. You actually have to have some level of marketing and promotions and research and development. You have to be able to talk that talk in order to get them to even listen to you. Why blockchain? Why would I even bring it on when I can use my database to do exactly what you're telling me I need to do? So you got to see what the difference is there. And you have to understand how different blockchain platforms work. Just like I mentioned earlier, you have so many different variables there. Just knowing this one basic thing, what's the difference between a centralized and a decentralized network? If you could say that and let people and help people understand that, you may get in the door, right? That's the simplest thing you can talk about. And then you get into the complicated things, as in, what is a decentralized or distributed ledger versus network? What's the difference between a tangle and proof of work or proof of stake? What's a consensus mechanism in the first place? How do you do minting? What are these information? How are you going to convey that information is vitally important to how much access you get, right? To actually create some type of leverage to say you really need this blockchain technology in your business. And one of the last things I want to say is, one, yes, you want to get find a group or community that talks blockchain, but at the same time, you want to get certified as a blockchain expert. That right there is critical to even having somebody listen to you, let alone do business with you, right? So get the knowledge and get the tools so that you become more effective in conveying the message of cryptocurrency on the blockchain, in finance, in business, in health, in supply, in transportation, in trading, in loans, in yield, in every aspect of our lives. Bitcoin, blockchain, technology, DeFi, it is all relevant, it is all relative, and it is essential for us as blockchain evangelists to get that information out to the people. So I implore you to understand that blockchain is here to stay. Some people are all about it, some people are not. That's okay. We're always learning new things. We're always happy to bring good information. And definitely, if you like what you hear today, if you want to know more, then definitely I'll be around. I mean, give me a week. I always say maybe a week, maybe a week and a half. Then I'll present a lot more information that talks about blockchain technology. And I really want to get into more DeFi information. And I read an article, interesting article the other day, and which I think is true, just like every technology, that kids are definitely more smarter than their parents about blockchain technology. And this is the truth, right? But not my kid. I had to make sure that I stay one step ahead. But it's really cool though. This is good information, and I definitely welcome anyone to be a part of change, be a part of evolution, and be a part of being in the now, in the know, and the future is now. So we can't put it off anymore. We might as well embrace it. and definitely take on this responsibility of giving our next generation the best information that will help them to succeed by all measures. I'm Rashid Hill, and yes, we are in the midst of the fourth industrial revolution, but we can definitely stand tall and know that there is a fifth digital reaction that Rashid Hill has written in a white paper. If you want a copy, get in touch with me. Maybe I'll put it down below. But either way, I am going to make sure that you actually have access to my particular writings on blockchain and the future of work, education, and learning. So get in touch with me if you want to know more about those aspects. You know that I have a new business called Next Era Learning, LLC. That Next Era Learning I have created and starting to create more courses about personal development. And I'm going to talk a little bit more about technology. So those courses are going to be coming out very soon. So stay tuned. Always reach back, talk to me, let me know how things are going. Let me know what's new in the area, in the space, and the technology. And I look forward to talking to you again. For now, peace, and I'm out.